January 28, 2025 Daily Bread. 1 Kings, chapter 16, verse 15 through 34. Key verse 18b and 19. Title: Israel's kings commit sin and do evil. In the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, Zimri reigned in Tirzah 7 days. The army was encamped near Gibbethon, a Philistine town. When the Israelites in the camp heard that Zimri had plotted against the king and murdered him, they proclaimed Omri, commander of the army, king over Israel that very day there in the camp. Then Omri and all the Israelites with him withdrew from Gibbethon and laid siege to Tirzah. Then Zimri saw that the city was taken. He went into the citadel of the royal palace and set the palace on fire around him. So he died. Because of the sins he had committed, doing evil in the eyes of the Lord, and following the ways of Jeroboam, and committing the same sin Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit. As for the other events of Zimri's reign, and the rebellion he carried out, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? Then the people of Israel were split into two factions. Half supported Tibni, son of Ginath, for king, and the other half supported Omri. But Omri's followers proved stronger than those of Tibni, son of Ginath. So Tibni died, and Omri became king. In the 31st year of Asa, king of Judah, Omri became king of Israel, and he reigned 12 years. 6 of them in Tirzah. He bought the hill of Samaria from Shemir for 2 talents of silver, and built a city on the hill, calling it Samaria, after Shemir, the name of the former owner of the hill. But Omri did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and sinned more than all those before him. He followed completely the ways of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, committing the same sin Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit, so that they aroused the anger of the Lord, the God of Israel, by their worthless idols. As for the other events of Omri's reign, what he did and the things he achieved, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? Omri rested with his ancestors and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son succeeded him as king. In the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, Ahab son of Omri became king of Israel, and he reigned in Samaria over Israel 22 years. Ahab son of Omri did more evil in the eyes of the Lord than any of those before him. He not only considered it trivial to commit the sins of Jeroboam son of Nebat, but he also married Jezebel, daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, and began to serve Baal and worship him. He set up an altar for Baal in the temple of Baal that he built in Samaria. Ahab also made Asherah poles and did more to arouse the anger of the Lord, the God of Israel, than did all the kings of Israel before him. In Ahab's time, Hiel of Bethel rebuilt Jericho. He laid its foundations at the cost of his firstborn son, Abiram, and he set up its gates at the cost of his youngest son, Segub, in accordance with the word of the Lord spoken by Joshua, son of Nun. Daily Bread Message. Zimri had murdered King Elah. He also killed off all of the remaining family of Baasha. The people didn't want a murderer as their king, so they conspired against him and made Omri, the army commander, king. And so Zimri lasted only 7 days before he committed suicide in his palace. He died not because of the conspiracy against him, but because of the sins he had committed against the Lord. Omri was a strong king and built the city of Samaria. However, he too sinned against the Lord. He did more evil in the sight of the Lord than all the other kings had done before him. So he died too. After Omri died, his son Ahab became king of Israel. Ahab had done even more evil than Omri had done. Sin builds up and becomes a completely destructive force, just like a tiny snowball rolled down a mountain can become a massive boulder. Ahab continued to worship idols. He also married Jezebel, the daughter of a Sidonian king. During Ahab's reign, Hiel built the city of Jericho according to the Lord's word. It was the cost of his firstborn and the youngest sons. Even when kings are invoking his anger, God is faithful to his word. Prayer. Father, help us to repent our own idol worship and follow your ways. One word, God is always faithful to his word.